Hi everyone, this is Selena Kraus and welcome to another Hero Arts card making video. For today's card, I will be using the fall pattern, stamp set, and die. And also I will be using the new Reactive Glitz inks. I have a piece of deluxe smooth white cardstock in front of me that I've cut down to 4¼ by 5½. And just a second ago you saw I was just showing how you can die cut all the pattern, all the leaves and elements from one stamp only with one die to get a bunch of those. So let's get started. What I'm doing is I'm ink blending. First I'm starting with Egyptian blue, and I'm just applying on the bottom of my A2 panel. I'm using extra large blending brushes and adding that ink. It's not really visible on the camera, but this ink is water reactive. Also, it has a very nice shimmer or sparkle when you put it towards the light, and it just looks amazing. So my second color that I went with was the Byzantine green. Now I'm going with Naples yellow. In a little bit, I will blend all those colors to get nicer blend by applying more of the same colors on top or and in between. So the last color, I'm going with Spanish orange, and I'm starting from the bottom, going towards the yellow. This is more like red orange, but it's in person, it looks really beautiful. So I have the first layer. Now I'm going back and I'm adding a little bit more ink to make those transitions between the colors more even. But once we stamp and die cut, this won't even matter because we have smaller elements, smaller leaves, and it will look just beautiful. So now, since this ink is reactive, I'm sprinkling some water. A little off camera, you can see it reacted right away with the ink, and just dabbing it out with a towel. Next, I wanted to add more texture and color, so I'm using the new Hero Arts white acrylic spray. I'm just adding on acrylic block, and I'm just splattering over my background. So next I wanted to add a little bit more variation, so I have the white shimmer iridescent spray, and I will splatter some, like I'll open it, and with the nozzle, with the little straw inside, I'm just doing more splatters. Okay, so I'm satisfied how this background looks. I set it aside to dry. Now you can see the shimmer. Once completely dry, I will stamp the background, the fall pattern background. And the background fits perfectly to A2 size of a panel. So I'm adding it in my stamp positioning tool. I'm adding it in the middle, and I will position that stamp on top, and I will be stamping with black ink. I'll be using the intensified black ink, and then I will emboss with clear embossing powder. So I'll stamp a couple times here. I can't really put pressure with my right hand, so I'm restamping a couple times to get nice coverage, and also to make that ink more kind of wet so I can apply the embossing powder. I think that's good. So now I have the ultra fine clear embossing powder, and I'm adding and kind of shaking off the excess onto my background. If you don't have time to wait for that background to dry before you stamp it, you can also use your heat tool to dry the ink and also dry the splatters of white acrylic paint and the iridescent shimmer spray. Next, I'm applying heat to melt that embossing powder. I think that looks good, and now it's time to die cut all those elements. I'm lining up the die with the background, and by magic of YouTube, I have all those elements cut out. So here you can see me popping all those out. And they're little tiny elements that you can use like embellishment or like little confetti. Next, I have a piece of the same white cardstock that I did the ink blend in. So I have deluxe smooth white cardstock that I cut to 4 by 5 1/4. So this is a little bit smaller than A2 size, and I'm arranging the leaves. I'm pulling out leaves from different colors. So you can see here, you don't really see that harsh transition between the colors, so the ink blending does not need to be perfect. So I'm trying to find the most eye-catching positioning of the leaves here, like arrangement, that I liked. So I'm just pulling and changing the leaves until I like that arrangement. So I think that looks pretty nice, and I'm adding repositionable tape on top to hold all those together, so I can add the adhesive on the back and add them all together without messing that arrangement or rearranging them again. So before I add those, I decided to stamp sentiment. I'm using the Thank You sentiment from the same stamp set, Fall Patterns, and I'm positioning it in the center on the white panel. I'm using again the Hero Arts Intensified Black ink. I stamped twice. Next, I will be adding some foam squares on the back of that arrangement. Make sure that I have covered almost the entire thing, and I'm adding that to my white panel. Once I have adhered those down, I'm pulling off the repositionable tape and just adding a few of the small leaves around that arrangement. To add a little bit more fullness and a little bit more interest to that leaves arrangement. I'll add one more on the left side, and I think I like how it looks. Next, I have a piece of A2 Bermuda premium cardstock, and I added foam tape on back of that panel. So I will mat the panel to the Bermuda cardstock and add it to a side folded dove white note card. Making sure this is nice and straight, and we have it's centered equally from all sides. Once that's done, I'm just pulling one of my side folded dove white note cards. I'm adding some Hero Arts Precision Liquid Adhesive on the back, and that finishes our card for today. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the Hero Arts YouTube channel so you don't miss any of upcoming videos, and also visit our blog for more ideas and more inspiration. Thanks for watching. Bye!